It's not about who has the bigger following. It's about who's ready for war when the whistle blows. And when the fourth quarter hits. When the game is tied. When the cameras are off. Only one thing will matter. Who put in the work? Because in this league, there's no hiding. You either evolve or you get exposed. Smith was starting to crack. He tried to walk it back. I wasn't criticizing Caitlyn, he said on his YouTube channel. I was talking about media coverage, that's all. But nobody was buying it. Because when you mention Caitlin Clark's name in a negative light, especially in 2025, you're not just starting an argument, you're picking a fight with a movement. So here's the question. Is Angel Reese building a basketball legacy or just a personal brand? What you're about to see may change everything. The WNBA is no longer just about who scores the most points. It's about who's serious and who's just pretending. And right now, Angel Reese is under the microscope.
Oh, no, not again!
Dan Le Batard, who rarely sides with Stephen A., called it out directly. That wasn't commentary. That was careless. Caitlin Clark is doing something we've never seen before. And instead of celebrating it, you're throwing shade because your LeBron feud got messy. Michael Wilbon added fuel to the fire. There's no reason to mention her in that context. It was real. An uncut look at Caitlin Clark, Michaela Timpson, Brie Hall, and Yvonne Ejim. Sweating, grinding, communicating. Their chemistry, instant. Their effort, unmistakable. The contrast couldn't be clearer. While Angel's video felt like an Instagram reel chasing engagement, the Fever's practice tape looked like a blueprint for a championship team. Meanwhile, Angel's clip may have been 9 seconds, but it exposed years of bad habits. So what happens next? Will Angel double down on the glitz and glamour, or will she finally get serious and fix the flaws that could cost her a long-term career? Because right now, every second she spends curating her brand is another second Caitlin Clark spends crafting a legacy. If we're going to talk about Bronny James and how his last name impacts his coverage, maybe we should be having the same conversation about Caitlin Clark. The reaction was instant. The fallout, brutal. To some, it was just another hot take. But to everyone else, especially fans of women's basketball, it was pure disrespect. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a trending name, she's a phenomenon.
Oh, no, not again! Angel Reese three-pointer! Bang!
Angel Reese said it herself. They're not just watching one player, they're watching because of me too.
If I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Watching because of me too! Caitlin Clark could never make that pass!
But the most shocking moment came from inside ESPN's walls. According to leaked reports, senior producers were furious. One anonymous source told a sports media blog, "We want debate, but Caitlin Clark is untouchable right now. She's good for business, and Stephen A. is hurting the brand." That's when the narrative shifted. Because this wasn't just about hurt feelings, it was about money.
She's dead! Dead! They say the safest place to be when a nuclear missile goes off is next to Angel Reese's jump shot. Cause nobody's around! Bang! I mean, the disrespect here. She gets the ball, the defender retreats to the paint. Almost went in. Bang. Man, social distancing in 2024 is crazy. COVID was 4 years ago. Bang! He said free tees for Angel Reese's threes.
As you can see, it totally covers her face. It's crossed over her face, which is odd.
In the WNBA, these mistakes don't go unnoticed. Bad habits get punished. And in Angel's case, no one around her seemed willing to fix them.
And then her palm is facing her on the inside, which is kind of weird.
And the sports world let him hear it. WNBA players led the charge. Breanna Stewart posted a photo of Caitlin Clark pulling up from the logo, captioned, "This isn't hype, this is skill." Chini Ogwumike, who also works at ESPN, tweeted, "You do not come for Caitlin like that, period." Nafisa Collier chimed in with a now viral post. "Put some respect on her name. That girl is changing the game." And it didn't stop there. Stephen A. Smith has made a career out of bold opinions, fiery debates, and going where no one else will. But this time, he went too far. While the media was already locked in on his feud with LeBron James, Stephen A. dropped a comment that sent shockwaves through both the NBA and WNBA. He suggested that Caitlin Clark, yes, that Caitlin Clark, might be benefiting from the same kind of media favoritism that's surrounding Bronny James. And Caitlin Clark? She never said a word. She let her supporters speak for her. She let her game speak for her. She stepped back onto the court and dropped 29 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds against a top-seeded team. And the post-game coverage said it all. Stephen A. talks, Caitlin Clark delivers. That headline ran on every major sports site, and it wasn't just a recap. It was a statement. Instead of sharpening her tools, Angel seems to be polishing her image. But in the WNBA, image fades fast. On the other side, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever rookies. No flash, no filters, just raw, relentless work. Michaela Timpson is catching lobs like a seasoned vet. Brie Hall is knocking down spot-up threes with near 40% accuracy. Yvonne Ejim is muscling through defenders with pro-level physicality. She dropped 40-point nights. She nailed game-winning threes. She showed up in the biggest moments and didn't just survive the spotlight, she owned it. So when Stephen A. tried to tie her to media favoritism, it felt like deja vu. And this time, her supporters had the platform and the power to fight back. One viral clip summed it up best. A fan shouted from the stands during a Fever game, "She's not hype, she's him." And the crowd roared.
It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Watching because of me too. Caitlin Clark could never make that pass. Bang!
But after what just went viral, that statement might not hold up much longer. Angel dropped a quick 9-second workout clip.
Angel Reese has put out footage of her working out in the gym. It's just a few seconds, like 9 seconds. Now, remember, Angel Reese has said to us that people are not just watching basketball for one player. They're watching because of me too.
You can't influencer your way to a playoff berth. And when the season gets real, when the legs are tired and the lights are bright, only one thing matters: fundamentals. Therefore, when Angel shows up to training camp with the same flaws she had in college, it raises a serious question. Is she being trained to succeed or just to stay famous? At the same time, Caitlin and her squad are proving they're not here to play around. Every drill has purpose. Every rep has meaning. There's leadership, there's trust, there's grit. So when Stephen A. tried to reduce that to media hype, it wasn't just tone deaf. It was a business liability. LeBron might have laughed it off with a meme. Bronny might have stayed silent, but Caitlin didn't have to say anything because the entire sports world came to her defense. WNBA players, ESPN insiders, casual fans, legends, teammates, and even rivals all pushed back against Smith's narrative. And that's rare. That kind of unity doesn't happen unless something is truly out of bounds. And that's exactly what this was.
And then her palm is facing her on the inside, which is kind of weird. I don't know how you do that. So it's crossed over her face, over her eyes, as you can see. And this is here, and it's like this on the ball. Like I said, it's the reverse because she's left-handed, but it's just an odd way to shoot the basketball with her elbow all the way out here.
In the background of her clip, a trainer's voice can be heard calling her shots tough, but not one correction was made.
What you're doing in your workout is important, but I gotta say this, who's working with you is also important. I don't know who the young man is working with Angel. I don't know if he's a part of the Sky organization or not. My guess is he's not. My hope is he's not, because there are things that need to be corrected, and instead I'm hearing him give like the nod, giving the praise to what she's doing.
How she got to the All-Star game? Who knows? Did she hit a three? Hell no.
It all started with that 9-second video. Angel, alone in a gym, casually hoisting up a few jumpers. But instead of inspiring confidence, it sparked doubt. Her shot form was off. Her footwork looked lazy. And there was no coach, no structure, and no intensity. It felt like a last-minute PR move.
We got some footage from in the lab. That's right, she's in the damn gym. I'm just going to keep it real. I guess hell has frozen over, but she is in the gym practicing shots. And as you can imagine, there's real reaction to this.
This was the moment Caitlin Clark became untouchable. Stephen A. Smith has survived a lot in his career. Heated debates, celebrity clashes, even on-air blunders. But this time, he might have finally found the one name you don't touch. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player. She's a movement. She's pulling in ratings the WNBA's never seen before. She's filling arenas that used to have empty seats. She's bringing in new fans. Young fans, male fans, families, people who never watched a WNBA game before now tune in just to see what she'll do next. And ESPN knows it. That's why they built a whole broadcast strategy around her. Why her games lead highlight reels. Why her name brings in sponsors. Caitlin Clark is the engine behind one of the biggest growth moments in women's sports history. Dropped a comment that sent shockwaves through both the NBA and WNBA. He suggested that Caitlin Clark, yes, that Caitlin Clark, might be benefiting from the same kind of media favoritism that's surrounding Bronny James. It was one sentence, one throwaway line, but it set off a chain reaction unlike anything we've seen. Suddenly, WNBA players were furious. Fans were flooding ESPN with outrage. Even Stephen A's own colleagues looked uncomfortable on air. And Caitlin, she didn't even have to respond. The sports world did it for her. This wasn't just a bad take. It was a total misread of the moment. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie, she's the face of women's basketball. She's breaking records, filling arenas, and rewriting what's possible for the WNBA. So when Stephen A tried to lump her into his ongoing beef with LeBron, it backfired badly. But the real shock came when fans zoomed in on Angel Reese's shooting mechanics.
One person to beat. So.
Okay, that's all we get to see. 9 seconds. And in these 9 seconds, we can see that there's some work to be done.
Her guide hand, the one that's supposed to keep her form steady, was crossing her face like she was dabbing mid-shot. Her elbows flared out wide. Her wrist snapped inwards. It looked more like someone swatting a fly than a player aiming for a bucket.
So I want you to just take a look at her form. I'm going to go back just a little bit. All right, so this arm here, this is her left arm. I'm right-handed, so when I demonstrate something, it's gonna be the opposite for me because I'm right-handed. But you can see this arm right here is pretty good.
Working on her midi, working on her mid-range game, 15 to 17 feet out, being able to create some space for herself. Yes, this looks embarrassingly slow. No, it is not in slow motion. This is just what we have to work with right now.
Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever quietly released full-length, unfiltered practice footage.
Okay, timing, setting and using screens, communication on the defensive end, coverage on the defensive end, and then when we make mistakes, we gotta play through it.
And it wasn't just Caitlin Clark lighting it up. Rookies like Michaela Timpson and Brie Hall were locking in, catching lobs, running elite sets, and showing they're built for the league.
Take a look at the hour workout right here. Let's take a look at the workout. So you've got Aaliyah Boston immediately going and talking with Michaela Timpson. Immediately. And there is Yvonne Ejim and Brie Hall. So the three of them are here.